My first guest says that once you spend 15 minutes with her, you can forget that she weighs 600 pounds and you can fall in love with the skinny person who lives inside. Let's take a look.
People say that you are what your animals are. Shadow is a small dog. I have a skinny personality.
8 weeks ago, Diana Rosenfeld weighed 617 pounds, the heaviest and lowest point in her life.
Nathan and Janelle, do you have homework?
Yes.
Would you please get it done? You gotta go get weighed and go to the clinic.
Now, 85 pounds lighter. There is no more isolation, no more binging, no turning back. This is Diana's last chance at living.
I think my breaking point came when I got into the van and I couldn't reach the brakes.
Like millions of Americans, Diana has lost at dieting.
I went to an eating disorder unit. I've been on another eating program that I could not get enough protein. I have been under hypnosis. They told me I wouldn't like pastries. Years ago, there was a diet called Calories Don't Count.
Diana's goal, 150 pounds. Her determination, quite simple.
I have a son that I want to see grow up.
Facing reality was the first step, like Diana does here, building a positive self-image in what she calls her skinny mirror, and in keeping with her weight loss program, weighing in every day at the post office.
Okay, you zeroed it? Let's do this, guys.
537.
537. People that are overweight, they can be just as depressed as normal people are. I cry just like everybody else cries. Oh, look.
With strong support and good medical supervision, Diana's days of hibernation and depression are fading with each pound.
I think I got it.
34 to 33.5.
In a day?
I think that the most important thing that I have learned is that I'm really worth all this.
Please, everyone, welcome Diana Rosenfeld along with her husband, Bruce. You know, this is interesting. My producers have been talking to you for a long time. We've gone out and seen you, and they tell me they all fall in love with you. And yet, they're probably very angry with you for what's happened to you. At 617 pounds, how do you get that way?
I got angry, Maury. I didn't realize until about 3 or 4 years ago how angry I was most of my life. In a very young life, I was responsible for my sibling. And when you're 4 years older and have to take care of this child that's active as is and doesn't want to be bossed and toted around, it was real hard for me because I had to take this child to places and he didn't like it and I didn't like it, and I had to take him to the movies and he would have a temper tantrum and embarrass me, and the only thing in my young life that I could control was my food.
You mean control in that I'm going to eat what I want to eat?
Yep.
So if I want to eat everything I see, I'm going to eat everything I see?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to eat till it hurts, I'm going to eat till it hurts?
Yes.
Is that what happened?
To eating, it wasn't a hurt, because a lot of times food is used as a comfort. It's like a tranquilizer. It can comfort you. You think it comforts you, and it makes you makes a false security is what it does.
I understand that, Diana. We all go through that. We all get nervous at one time or another during the day, and the next thing you know, and those who have been, for instance, able to stop smoking, they're grabbing the food and they're putting it in their mouth to try to keep from smoking. But we don't weigh 617 pounds.
Fast food was a lot of the problem. After my mother died of multiple sclerosis, first let me back up a second.
I know you had to take care of her.
Yeah, for 2.5 years I had to take care of my wonderful mother with MS. And I had to watch a very vibrant woman become a vegetable almost. I could not control her or what was happening to her. So the only thing I controlled was my food. And so I ate, and I ate, and I ate. And I ate a lot of fast foods. Matter of fact, I can tell you all the fast foods on the way to and from my son's school. Some of them new.
You could tell us all the fast food restaurants on the way to
Yes,
school?
it depends on which way I went, what I had, and what I ate.
Well, what would you eat, for instance?
Oh, breakfast could have been 2 McDonald's sausage eggs with biscuits, 2 hash browns, and of course 2 diet sodas that nullified all the rest of it. Yeah?
You know, you're not alone there,
No,
Diana.
hey, the diet
we always do
soda's
that. I do
nullifies
mine, you know. Give me a Big Mac, large fries, and Diet Coke. You know, we all do that.
And then my lunch was wild. You have to picture, when somebody says 2 burritos, 2 fries, and 3 diet sodas, you don't think that's very much, do you? Well, let me tell you, this burrito was this long, this high, and this wide. Now, is that a burrito? The French fries, if you take McDonald's French fries and put the 3 large ones in one bag, that's how big that French fry was. So I ate 2 of those, and I think about that now, and I think, how did I eat that much? I had, you know, when you are under depression, when you are upset, when you are angry, your concept of what you eat, it's like...
Did you really think of yourself as a thin person?
Yes. Picture yourself. This is me. Now, if I'm looking down at here, I'm not very big, am I? Look at yourselves. I'm not.
Because you can't see.
But you put this, I'm fat. I mean, I am really fat.
You don't mind that word?
No. But if you don't say it, it's not the truth. Because I am fat. I'm not skinny. I have a skinny personality, but I am fat.
Richard, welcome to the show. I haven't talked to you much, but I'm going to now. Did you ever threaten to leave? I'm sorry, Bruce. Did you? I'm sorry, I said Richard. Bruce, did you threaten to leave?
Several times
I got Richard Simmons on my mind. He's coming up in a second. Don't worry about that.
Several times I threatened to leave her. This last time, I told her that I was going to leave her unless she did something about her weight. And with the help of a dear friend of ours, we sat down, we talked with her, and she decided that she needed to do something. And of course, she didn't like the idea that I threatened and threatened to walk out on her. But yes, I have.
But did you did you have to wait till she was 617 pounds?
No, Maury. I did this several times throughout our marriage life. We've been married going on 19 years, and several times when she was heavy, I would threaten to leave her if she didn't lose some weight, because I knew she was eating herself to death.
Yeah, but maybe you liked your wife a little overweight.
Well, that's true also, because in a way I did not, in a way I did because...
Didn't you kind of sabotage her at times?
Yes. When she had lost 85 pounds on this other program, some of our friends started to make comments about how good she looked, and that threatened me.
So you got a little jealous.
So I got jealous, and I sabotaged by getting her candy and things that she liked.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You can go, oh, but how many times have you said to your mother, I love you, you need to lose weight, and then bring her a cake? Same thing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Same exact thing.
What do your kids say?
My son?
Well, guess what? Hold that. We're going to bring him out a little bit later on, all right? And next, you know who Richard Simmons is?
Yes.
You ever met Richard?
No.
If I gave you the phrase morbidly obese, would you consider you qualifying for that phrase?
4 times over.
You know Richard works with people like you?
Yes, I do.
You know he's very successful?
Yes, I do.
Look, you've lost 85 now. We'll see what Richard can do when we come back. We're talking with Diana Rosenfeld and her husband, Bruce. Bruce worrying so much about his wife's obesity that he actually threatened to leave her if she didn't lose weight. Our next guest just might be the guy who can do it for her. You know, I've known him for a long time, and he's the diet guru who's helped thousands shed the pounds that have held them back. Take a look. His new videotape is called Sweatin' to the Oldies, Part 3. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Simmons. Look, you've helped so many. 617 pounds. She's lost 85. Can you see her thin?
Yes. It doesn't really matter how much you have to lose, Maury. It's just, you know, everyone says it's one day at a time, and for people like Diane and myself, it's really one meal at a time. Any one little teeny thing can offset you, and you can find yourself in a binge.
So this, in terms of what maybe we might relate to, this is alcoholism.
Well, you may not know someone as an
you're saying
alcoholic.
a meal at a time.
You may not
They say a day at a
someone
time.
is a cocaine addict or a drug user, but you know when someone is a compulsive eater. I am 43 years old, and I have kept off 150 pounds, but I am a compulsive eater, and I have to watch it every day. And it's very difficult, especially in the world we live in, because when you're fat, no one seems to understand, and everyone labels you. They think they know you and all your problems, and that's the sad part. It's not just, Maury, teaching overweight people new eating habits. It's educating the thinner population not to be so abusive. Because overweight people are discriminated against in every job, sometimes in relationships.
Do people look at you funny when you go out, Diana?
When I was at the fair one year, I had a bunch of high school kids that were razzing me, and I looked at them point blank, and I said, "Go ahead and laugh. I looked like you once."
So that was your reaction?
Yes, and when children come up to me and say to me, "You're fat," I said, "Yes, I am." "How did you get that way? Is there something wrong with you?" I said, "How I got there was from my hand to my mouth. Nobody got me this way but me."
I think the best way to try to motivate Diana and the millions of overweight and compulsive eaters that are watching is there is a very special lady in the audience today, Maury.
Okay.
And her name is Rosalie Bradford. And when I first got in contact with Rosalie, it was through a friend. A friend of hers wrote me a letter. And she was 1,050 pounds.
1,050 pounds.
And when I was asked to do the show,
I can't imagine that.
I searched my mind and said, how could I motivate Diana into getting to the weight that she's comfortable, whatever that weight may be. That weight may be 300 pounds. That weight may be 200 pounds.
Well, we said 150 pounds in the videotape piece. Was that what you want, 150 pounds?
Well, my goal is to weigh 150 pounds, sit in one seat on the airplane, and dance with my husband in my living room.
In 1989, at the end of 1989, I started writing Rosalie Bradford. I started calling her. And I want you to meet her because this lady has dropped almost what you weigh. Rosalie has now dropped 675 pounds. And she's right here in the audience, and I'd like you to meet her.
So, I mean, I've seen Richard, you know, work with people. What made it work for you?
The fact that somebody offered me something that wasn't unreal, that didn't control me, that gave me hope.
And
You know,
you're at now, what, 400 pounds?
375.
375?
Yeah.
Okay, Diana. Rosalie can do it. Positive reinforcement. We'll be back in a moment. We'll have more with Richard Simmons and Diana. Diana Rosenfeld says people were so cruel to her that she simply stopped leaving the house. Her husband Bruce says he would often get into fights with strangers who made fun of Diana. And we're talking with Richard Simmons, who knows a lot about all of this and says there are many misconceptions about being overweight. People too often assume that they're stupid and illiterate and dirty just because they're overweight. This is, why don't you stand up, Nathan, 12-year-old Nathan Rosenfeld. Hi,
Maury.
how are you?
Good.
You're all dressed up. Welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. You're growing up too fast, Nathan. You just got to be a kid for a while, all right? Were kids mean to you about your mom?
Yeah, they were, Maury, because, like, when I was younger, the kids used to come up to me and say, your mom's so fat she can't fit through a door. I just say, oh, yeah, then how come she's walking through that one right over there?
Right.
Right?
Did you ever say to your mom, Mom, you know?
Yeah, when I was littler, I didn't quite understand why my mom was fat and everything. And I was sort of, like, angry at her because I wanted a normal mom, and I didn't want a mom that people considered a freak. But now, who cares? She's a normal person. I know that. Everybody knows that. She's a normal person with emotions and feelings.
This kid is wise beyond his years, believe me. You're on a diet too, aren't you?
Yeah, I've lost over 20 pounds.
So you're on the diet. You're on a diet with your mother.
Yes.
She's on a diet. Bruce, are you on a diet?
Yes, I am, Maury.
How about the cat? Is the cat on a diet?
No, the cat is the compulsive overeater.
Is this important, Richard?
Yeah, a family doing it together is very important, but you can't look at it as dieting because at the end of that tunnel is a closed door. You have to look at it as getting up in the morning, setting your goals, saying, I can do this. I'm going to just try my very best today. I'm going to try to exercise. When I sent Diana the deal a meal and the sweat and tapes and she started doing them, I mean, we're going to come back. You know, this is not the only time you're going to see Diana.
Look.
Because I'm going to be calling her and driving her nuts.
There is no reason to do this show unless we can come back and show what's happened. This is Jackie Rosenfeld. This is Diana's mother-in-law.
Right.
What did you tell her?
I told her she was going to die. Nathan was 4 months old, and he was out. My husband and Bruce were outside walking him, and I was speaking with Diana. And I said, you're going to die. You have a beautiful son. I lost my father when I was 8, and Daddy, my husband, had lost his mother when he was 8. I said, and it's more difficult for a child to grow up without a mother than without a father.
Yeah, but
And
it took him a long time. Nathan's 12 years. It took her a long time.
yeah,
Nathan's
but
12 years old.
she didn't accept it. She said, there's nothing wrong with me. My blood pressure is fine. My heart is fine.
Is that
There
part of
is
the
nothing
denial?
Well, it's a little bit of a denial, but no one's going to do it until they're ready, Maury. Nobody's going to do it. Not a son, not a mother-in-law. You know, no one can do it until...
Certainly what?
Not a mother-in-law.
Right.
It's only until Diana said, I am tired of being a prisoner of my own fat, and I'm going to put down the fork, and I'm going to make this commitment. Because it is a commitment.
All right, what do you want to tell your mom?
Mom, what's your reason for losing weight?
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
Before we get, this is important, because I know you're involved with Richard's program and you see a doctor all the time. What do you eat every day?
Now,
Yeah.
I have example breakfast is 1 egg, 1 piece of dry toast, nothing on it. For lunch, it's 3½ ounces of meat, half a cup of vegetable of a certain, I have to have certain kind of meat, certain kind of vegetable, and a piece of fruit, depending, like if it's a pear, I only have half of a pear. And then for dinner, it's the same as lunch. And then in between, I can have the protein mix that Dr. Stamper has, as much as I want, as long as I'm not hungry. And believe it or not, I am not hungry because I have said to myself, I am not hungry, and I'm not.
And the bottom line is that this is the way she's going to have to eat for the rest of her life. We have the holiday seasons coming right up. Everyone's waiting for January 1st to buy that water-packed tuna, Maury. They gotta start now. There's always going to be holidays and birthdays.
I like the water-packed tuna.
I do too. But people have to start now. Don't wait till after Thanksgiving. Don't wait till after Christmas. Every day can be a rebirth for you.
Great. Bruce, you want to say something to Diana?
I want to tell Diana that I love her and that she means a lot to me and that I'm glad she's on this and I will support her in all I do because I love her and I want her to stick around for a while so we can watch our grandchildren grow.
I want to, oh, it's terrific. I want to thank all of our guests today. This is a mission we're on, Richard. You're leading us down this path. And we want you back, and we want Diana back, and Bruce back, and the whole Rosenfeld family, and hopefully with the understanding and support of her family and the continued monitoring from her doctors and the encouragement from Richard, Diana will achieve all of her dreams, and we're all rooting for you. We want to see you back here. Boy, I tell you, you've done 85. You want to get to 150. You do 85 at a time. You'll be there quicker than you probably think.
One step at a time. One day at a time.
Back in November, we had a very special guest on our show.
So the only thing I control was my food. And so I ate, and I ate, and I ate.
Losing control added up to nearly 600 pounds of body weight. Diana Rosenfeld's choices were clear. Either lose weight or live a shorter life, one without her husband and son.
My goal is to weigh 150 pounds, sit in one seat on the airplane, and dance with my husband in my living room.
34 to 33.5.
In a day?
Inspired by her own weight loss, Diana has reached out to others, as in the case of Betsy Abbott, who wouldn't walk down the aisle until she was thin. So Diana made a house call.
Hi, Betsy. I told you I was going to be there in spirit. I lied.
Give Betsy some advice right now, Diana. You're the one. You're her spiritual leader.
If Betsy's self-esteem is down on the ground, she's not going to be happy, and Bill is not going to be happy. And Betsy, you know I'm there for you.
And we've stayed in touch as Diana gets closer to a healthier, longer life.
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
There's no reason to do this show unless we can come back and show what's happened. Diana was so anxious to come back and surprise us all with her weight loss. She didn't even want me to see her before the show. I haven't seen her now in 6 months. So please welcome back 212 pounds slimmer Diana Rosenfeld.
Hi.
I got a question. This is terrific. I've got one question to ask. One seat or two on the plane?
Almost one.
What does that mean, Diana? What does that mean now, almost one? That's like being a little bit pregnant. What's that mean?
Well, you know the arm of the chair, Maury, that
Yeah.
you can lift it up
Sure.
or lay it down. It's about here, and it's not real comfortable. But it was so much more different than the last time.
Oh, boy, was it ever. Let's see what 200 pounds does if you don't have it anymore. You could not walk the steps up to the studio last time. What did you have to do?
We took the freight elevator up, pushed my wheelchair through the corridor, and then into the green room.
But now, today?
I walked in the front door up the steps, and I've been walking all over the studio today.
And last time, we had to have a wheelchair for you in New York.
Oh, I left my wheelchair at the hotel.
The last time.
Well, no, last time I brought it with me here to the studio.
Right.
But today I left it in the wheelchair in the studio. It's a hotel because I didn't need it. I can only use it when I'm doing shopping and stuff like that.
Now, there are a couple of other things we have to picture. Now you're on the plane and you want to go to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom on the plane.
Now that's tough to do, right? You couldn't do it last time, could you?
I did it.
And not only that, at home you have what kind of a car?
Bruce has a Hyundai.
A Hyundai. Has anybody seen a Hyundai? I mean, it's no bigger than your hand.
I have to tell you a story. I was getting ready. I decided I was going to do this major thing. I was going to attempt to drive the Hyundai. So I had somebody staying with me. So it was in the middle of the night. Bruce was asleep. Nathan was asleep. And we tried to creep out of the house. The girl slammed the door. Bruce normally sleeps through a hurricane, bolted right up. And here we are, tiptoeing down. He opens up the door. He goes, "What are you doing?" "I'm going to drive the Hyundai." So he's in his pajamas. He picks up his wallet, and he's barefooted. And I look at him, and I said, "Where do you think you're going?" He says, "With you." I says, "No, you're not." I says, "You just make sure the seat's back all the way for me.
All right.
And I'm going to do this. If I need your help, I'll holler."
All right.
So I got into the Hyundai.
This better be good, Diana.
It's good, it's good.
This better be a real good story.
I got into the Hyundai, and I went, "I'm here." It was tight. But I drove it. Now, this was the fun part. If you all remember correctly, I used to work at the post office, right? So
That's right. She used to weigh in at the post office because it was the only scale that had that much weight on it, right?
Right? Well, it was Jim Higgins, the young man who used to weigh me, was there. And I thought, what a better person to surprise than Jim Higgins. So off we went in the Hyundai, and I'm driving down the street, and I'm feeling fantastic. Here it is, 11-something at night. Nobody to tell. I can't call and wake anybody up and tell them what I'm doing, because I have to wait till the morning because everybody's sleeping. So we're driving. We go to the post office, and Jim comes down, and he's looking at me. And he's looking at he recognizes the car, but it's not Bruce driving. And then he starts getting this grin, and I'm waving at him. And I'm going, "Hi, Jim." And he says, "Diana, that's you?" And I said, "You're the first person to see me do this." And it was wonderful.
Last time you came here, we had to have a love seat, you saw on the tape. Today, she's in a chair. I mean, these are little things, but to Diana, these are giant steps forward. Now, here's the deal I don't understand. Since you've come on our show, you have become a celebrity. You have received not only letters, phone calls from viewers like yourself, terribly overweight, you want to lose it, and now you're their guru. You've actually called many of these people to cheer them up. One of those people you talked to on the phone but haven't met wanted to be here today to say thank you. Here she is, Diana, Betsy Abbott. We'll be back in a moment after this. These are successful weight loss stories, big weight loss stories. Last November, Diana Rosenfeld appeared on our show. That time she weighed 600 pounds, decided it was time to seriously diet or die. Since then, Diana has lost 212 pounds and has become an inspiration to many of our viewers. Betsy Abbott was one such viewer and was so inspired by Diana that she went on her own diet, and so far, since when, Betsy, February?
February.
You've lost 80 pounds.
80 pounds.
Very good. Terrific. But what's the difference? I mean, what's the difference? You've tried to lose before.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've finally come to my senses, Maury, and I know that there's no easy way out. I've decided to change my eating habits forever. It's not like a diet. I've just decided to change my life forever. And with the encouragement of Diana...
Is that what she told you?
Yeah, basically. And she calls me all the time, and we talk to each other if we're down.
Well, what does that do?
We
Is this
encourage
buddy
each other.
system or
yes,
something?
we encourage each other.
I yell
She
at her.
encourages me.
You yell at her?
I yell at her.
Well, who yells at you?
Dr. Stamper. Doris, the nurse, and the doctor yell at me.
Yeah, because we must understand that Diana is under a doctor's care, and he's supervising everything. So you take all this advice that the doctor gives you, and you go like Johnny Appleseed around the country, just dropping it all over the place, don't you?
She's become a real celebrity.
What do you eat? I want to hear what you eat normally. Give me a day. Breakfast.
Breakfast, 1 egg, a dry piece of wheat toast, water for breakfast, and of course my vitamins. And then for lunch, I have 3.5 ounces of a meat, depending on what kind of meat I have. That's 3.5 ounces before it's cooked. And it might be chicken or fish, depending. Then I have a cup of lettuce with salad dressing, a certain kind of salad dressing. I have half a cup of vegetable and a piece of fruit. And if it's depends on the fruit. It has to think small. You don't go big. You don't go
dinner?
gargantuous. Dinner is the same as lunch.
Okay. Now, in between?
Dr. Stamper has a protein drink that if I absolutely am hungry, then I can have this.
Yeah.
But I don't have it very often.
So that's what you use when you get hungry. Betsy, same kind of...
Basically the same way, except I've cut out all fats. I don't have any sweets, and I eat nothing fried whatsoever.
Right.
And I've cut out red meat. My blood pressure's come down, and I'm gonna do it this time.
You're going to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, why do you know you're going to do it this time?
Because
Just
I've come
because you're
this
holding
far.
her hand?
Yeah, no, because I've come this far. I haven't come
You've
this far
never
before.
come this far before?
No.
So that gives you the inspiration.
I would diet a week here, a week there, and then I would give up.
So
but
the
now
fact
it's
that
a little over
you
3
know what it is? I mean, I'm wearing the patch now, right? For smoking. As my wife says, look, you need a Dewar's White Label patch over here. You need a horse track patch over there. You need this patch. I mean, I'm like the human patch, right? But what happens is, if it's 1 week, you go, well, I did it a week. If you go,
That's right.
I did it 2
Yeah.
weeks. So I guess it's the same when it comes to weight.
It is.
Gosh, I got 10 off. Gosh, I got 20 off. I got 40 off.
That's
So
right.
that's the inspiration after a while. Diana, there was another viewer who was inspired by you. Meet another one of your fan club, Janet Christian, okay? Now, Janet, go over there and sit down. Because, I mean, Jenny Craig, watch out. Richard Simmons, give it up. We got the Diana Rosenfeld Diet for Life here. Janet, you called us, and you wanted to get in touch with her, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what happened?
I called, I watched her on the show, and...
So you just called Santa Ana, California, just dial her up.
right away, I talked to Diana, and I was really encouraged after seeing her on your show. And I was just like so overwhelmed. I said, I got to do something, finally. I said, if she could do it, I can do it.
And now you've lost, what, 30?
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that good, Diana?
That's wonderful.
We're going to be back in a moment. And we have lots of questions for people, and talk to one of Diana's biggest fans, her son, Nathan. Not a bad guy. You know, this is what I like. You could tell when we showed a little piece of the show back in November when you first came on. This is a very emotional, very tough show for you to do back then. And so this is the payoff. See, 6 months later, it's happy, it's nice, it's loose, I can joke with you, it's good. But I want to hear Janet's story, because all of us have goals. So what's the goal you have for losing weight?
My goal is by my 25th wedding anniversary, which will be in 3 years, is to lose 150 pounds. And to finally have the wedding that I always wanted.
What do you mean?
Well, I had gotten married in this little plain blue dress, and I already know the type of veil I want with all these flowers, and the dress that I want with the flowers. I just
So you
like
want
a fairy
the real
tale.
wedding dress
Yeah,
this time?
I
Because you
do.
couldn't have gotten one last time.
No.
Okay, all right, yes.
Are any of you able to exercise, or will you start to maintain your weight loss?
That's interesting.
I do gentle exercises.
Me too.
Dr.
Mild
Stamper wants me doing them in a chair because I only have 2 legs. And until I get down lower, down to about 300 pounds, then I have to do them in a chair. But you got to remember, 6 months ago I wasn't walking like I am now. Now I'm walking everywhere, which increases, you know.
So that alone is exercise.
Oh, yes.
Betsy,
yes.
what do you do?
I do mild exercises too.
Mild.
I can't do anything strenuous.
Diana, what are you going to do with all your old clothes?
Well, I've already thrown about a big garbage bag full of them away.
I just wanted to know how you're doing health-wise, like blood pressure and cholesterol.
My
about
blood
that?
pressure is coming down.
You can tell that.
My
How about-
doctor, has, I go to see my doctor, you know, about every 3 weeks, and it's coming down.
Mine's normal, has always been normal.
Okay. Now, the last time you were here 6 months ago, look at this good-looking face here. This is Nathan, and this is Diana's son. How old are you, Nathan?
13.
13, right. Now, are you proud of her?
Very. It's kind of funny because, like, when Mom first came here,
Yeah.
Dad and I were pushing her in a wheelchair, and I was lugging around all this luggage behind her. Now, the only time she needs her wheelchair is to go upstairs in the hotel,
Right.
because it's a long walk,
Right.
at the airport,
Right.
when we're going shopping, and at the mall. Otherwise, she can walk anywhere she wants.
Right. And now, I mean, have the kids at school said anything about it, about your mom?
Yeah, one of my friends has become my mom's best friend. Every time somebody makes fun of my mom, my friend jumps right up there and says, "You better not talk about Miss Rosenfeld because she's great."
Okay. Thanks, Nathan. For that kid alone, Diana, you should lose the weight. For that kid alone.
What advice could you 3 ladies give to everyone just to get started losing weight? What was the one thing that motivated you to start that long road to losing all of that weight?
To come to your senses and to realize that it's not easy. It's not an easy process, and there's no magic pill, or it's not going to come off overnight. You've got to change your way of eating forever.
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 We'll be back after this.
My question to the ladies is your family, like your parents and children, brothers and sisters, were they overweight? And also, when you were growing up, let's say at age 12, through all the years, the type of food you ate, did your family give you a lot of junk food, or what do you attribute your overweightness to?
In my family, my brother was a little overweight. I only have one brother, and he's losing weight, doing great. And my parents were also overweight, but the era that I grew up in was meat and potatoes. You know, the bread, the meat, potatoes, and all that.
I know.
And
I love that.
so that was, you know, that's how I grew up.
That's why my cholesterol is 920. I love that stuff.
Most of my family is overweight. My
Look at
brother
our-
isn't, but most
Look
of
at
my
our
family.
producers, see. This is the sign that they put up. This is the sign that my producers want to know about. You see, I got these producers. So answer the question.
Yes.
We'll be back after this.
First of all, ladies, I just want to congratulate you and tell you to continue to love yourself. I've been fighting weight for a good 20 years, dieting. I got to a point where I couldn't diet anymore and realized it was really self-esteem and loving myself. And so keep it up. And if it's fat-free, it's food-free. So, I mean, salads, veggies, eat as much as you want. You don't have to starve.
Okay, all right. Now, as we leave, I can't remember. Did somebody want to say something about something? What did you want to say?
Remember, I weighed on the post office scale.
Right.
Well, I am now weighing in the clinic on the electronic scale, and the day that I did that, I cried. Because that was one of my goals. I've weighed on 4 different scales.
And you have a reunion.
I have a 25-year class reunion coming up. I did not go to the 20th because I looked too bad. And now I can't hide from anybody. Everybody knows what I look like.
6 months. We're going to give them another 6 months. And we're going to bring them back again. Okay. Now, here it is, Janet. You're on tape. See?
Yep.
So we have what you look like. So you got 6 months.
Yep.
Come back to us and show us your new self. Thank you so much. You're an inspiration to so many. I thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, America. Last year, we met a woman who weighed 600 pounds. Diana Rosenfeld is back. Well, at least half of Diana is back. Diana has lost 300 pounds, and you have to see it to believe it. And it's all next, right here on the Maury Povich Show. You are about to meet a woman who is keeping a promise that she made to herself and to all of us 1 year ago.
In November of last year, we met a very special woman.
So the only thing I control was my food. And so I ate, and I ate, and I ate.
Years of overeating added up to 600 pounds of body weight. Diana Rosenfeld was so large, she had to be weighed in at the post office. Her doctor's message was simple: lose weight or live a shorter life. Diana got the message.
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
So 6 months later, we had Diana back.
Please welcome back 212 pounds slimmer Diana Rosenfeld.
Clearly on her way to achieving 3 goals.
My goal is to weigh 150 pounds, sit in one seat on the airplane, and dance with my husband in my living room.
The dance wasn't in her living room. It was at her 25th high school reunion this past July. Then there was a vacation to Disneyland, impossible a year ago. And as for the airplane ride, well, see for yourself. Today, with only 1 goal remaining, Diana's mirror reveals a person she hasn't seen in over 15 years.
Well, I'm as anxious as everybody else because I haven't seen Diana since the last time she was here. She's been hiding from me today, and I haven't seen her, and I'm ready to see her. But the first time, you have to understand it, get this, the first time Diana was here, we had to get this seat for her to sit down in because of its width and its strength. But guess what? She's back. She no longer weighs over 600 pounds, and she can sit in one of our regular studio chairs. She has lost 300 pounds. Diana Rosenfeld. Oh.
You're beautiful. You are beautiful. Oh, you're terrific.
I messed up your hair, but sit down.
Look! I have to correct
Look
you.
at this.
I have to correct you. Excuse
that?
me, it's 305 pounds as of Wednesday.
Isn't that something? Remember this?
Yes.
Remember this?
Yeah.
You filled it up. First time you were here. And you're there.
With shoes and
Regular
pantyhose. Clothes off the rack.
So, Bruce, you look a little slimmer, too. What happened?
Well, the doctor saw me the last time Diana's article came out and said I had a little pooch, so I needed to lose some weight also. So I'm on the program also.
But tell me about life. Is it better now with the two of you?
Maury.
Look at the smile. You're doing things you haven't done in years, right?
Boy, are we doing things we haven't done.
Maury, you remember the sign that you did in May?
What was that? Tell me about it.
About
Refresh me.
sex?
Yes.
It's getting better and better and better. And
Leave it to me.
Still going, Maury.
Leave it to me to ask about sex. Now, this is very special because I want to go back to the 3 wishes.
Okay.
One of which was you wanted to be able to dance with your husband. I assume because you could not move.
Yes, and I also, when I was much younger, I taught dance. And so I loved to dance. And to take that away from me was real, real hard, especially when you're trying to teach a teenage son how to dance too. And so when I was able to dance, now the difference between the class reunion and a week ago Saturday was phenomenal.
Well, your reunion was in July.
July.
And you went out dancing a week ago?
We went to Bruce is retired now, and we went to his battalion ball. And we were the only couple that danced, but we danced, and the breathing was phenomenal. I mean, I could breathe without going, you know, like I was dying. It was just marvelous.
And the other wish was that you wanted to be able to get into the airplane seat. A regular seat. We're not talking big-time first-class seat.
Nope, we're talking regular
we're not
seat.
that successful a show.
Soon.
But?
Should I tell him?
Yeah. I mean, was there breathing room there?
1 seat.
1 seat.
We sat, myself, Bruce, and Nathan, all in a row.
And which was the first time in how many years since you've been able to get into a seat?
11. 11. 10 or 11, I don't remember. It was right after my dad died.
And no extension on that.
That's right, no extension on the seatbelt. So that was really an
And you're able to ride on the rides in Disneyland.
Yes.
Which your son, Nathan, who we're going to see, who's one of my favorite people. I'll tell you, since I've started this show, if I had to say, okay, who are the top 3 people that you've met since you've done this show? One of them would be your son, and the world will understand why in a few minutes. But your son, Nathan, is great. But what I want to get to, and what we're going to get to in the next segment, is your motivation. Because obviously, you've tried Diana before.
Oh.
And what do you think what is the difference now?
Once you put the focus on yourself, Maury, and stop dwelling on, let's see, Nathan's got a problem, Bruce has got a problem, oh, Peggy's got a problem, Doris has got a problem.
You illustrate this by going to, was it your father's grave or something? You were going to visit?
What happened is that we were on the way to Riverside to see a girlfriend's daughter blessed. And on Saturday before, the day before, I was in the living room doing something, and all of a sudden I had this craving for popcorn. So, being the person that I am, I called my nurse, Doris, on the phone. I says, Doris, I am craving popcorn so bad. Why? She says, are you mad? I said, I'm not mad, I'm not angry, I'm not bored, I'm not any of the things I should be. And she says, then what do you think it is? I says, I don't know. She said, so what's your plan of action? I says, it's close to bedtime, I'm going to bed. So I went to bed. And so the next morning we got up, we got dressed, we're on the freeway in the Hyundai, and
She's driving.
She's driving the Hyundai.
I'm driving the Hyundai, and I'm going
Couldn't get
down.
behind the wheel. Could never get behind the wheel.
And I got to Corona, and the tears came. And all of a sudden, the light came on, and I says, my God, I know why I wanted the popcorn. It was to numb a feeling that I had that the last time I had been in Riverside was the day we buried my father 10 years ago.
So that was it.
Your body...
You would have had the popcorn. You were feeling, you had to
That's
get
right.
subliminally, you were thinking of your father.
That's right.
The popcorn would have numbed the feeling.
Because, see, I was angry at him for dying on me.
You're tearing up right
Yes.
now. I know you are. I know you are.
So this is what a lot of people do. They numb their feelings.
All right. We're going to take Diana back to where she was. Not through herself, but we're going to have her take a look at another 600-pound woman who is now confined to her bedroom. She is determined, because she's watched Diana appear on this show twice now. This is the 3rd time. And she wants to follow in Diana's footsteps, and let's see if Diana can give her the first step after this message.
Now, I haven't met this woman, but Happy Lucan saw Diana Rosenfeld on our show, and along with hundreds of other viewers, wrote us asking to get in touch with Diana. Happy's request caught our attention because she not only faced the problems of weighing over 600 pounds, but she is also confined to her bedroom. We have had other instances that we have known about throughout this country, whether we want to talk about Walter Hudson and what that symbolizes. But Happy, basically, you can't move too far, can you?
No, Maury, I walk with cuff crutches, and one of my thighs is 105 inches wide. The other one is almost as wide, and it makes it very difficult to get around. I need help getting up from the bed, getting back into the bed. I need help bathing, and my toilet needs.
So, in other words, the only thing you do basically is go from the bedroom to the bathroom and back to your bedroom.
With great difficulty, yes.
Now, you saw Diana on our show?
Yes, it was a real turning point in my life. I can't thank you enough, Diana.
I don't know how much you can thank us yet. I mean, we really haven't done much here.
My being on your show is like coming out of a closet.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
I bet.
I saw Diana on TV, and I was appalled. I said, why would this woman at this size get on TV? Oh, my gosh.
So you didn't like it?
Show her body to people. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. But I was working with the therapist and shared it with her, and we talked it through, and I realized, oh, my God, it was my own shame that I was feeling. I was feeling so ashamed of being at this weight. And when I saw her, and I was able, I was able to come out of my shame. Yeah. And it was at that point that I really started trying to find a hospital or something to help me lose this weight. So far, we haven't found one that will accept me at this weight. They keep turning me down and telling me that I'm too fat. If I lose 100 pounds and become more mobile, I can go back or whatever. But anyway, let me finish about Diana. So I felt this shame, and I felt, oh my God, how could this woman go on TV? And then all of a sudden I realized after I worked this through, I love her. I mean, it was like freeing for me. There was someone else who could really relate to what I was feeling and how I was ashamed and didn't want people to see me at this weight. My family hasn't seen me at this weight. My extended family. No one knows other than my immediate family that
they know
what I
now.
look like. Now.
They know now.
Now 20 million people know.
Well, I don't want to say a thing anymore because basically Diana is the person who can do these things for you. I can't. So Diana, you see how Happy is feeling. You've seen what she looks like. You've heard her talk. So be my guest,
Thank
my
you,
dear.
Diana. Thank you so much.
If the audience will excuse me, I'm going to turn my time to Happy for a few minutes. May I do this?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, Happy.
Hi,
I have a
Diana.
question for you, and if I make you cry, I'm sorry, honey. Are you the type of person to give the pallbearers a hernia?
No. I don't want to give anybody a hernia.
Okay.
And I don't want to die, Diana.
All right.
I don't want to die. And I don't want to be in this body, and I want to be thin. I know other people are satisfied at their weight or so forth. I want out. I want to be able to run with my child. I want to be able to run with my husband. I want to be able to play. I want to be able to go out of my house. I want to be able to go to the mall. I want to be able to do things.
How
I
bad
want
do
to
you
be able
want
to, bad.
How bad?
Real bad. Real bad. Very bad.
Bad enough to put yourself first?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I really think I need to be in an in-hospital program where I can be monitored and
Do
so
I
forth,
look
'cause
like I've
that's-
been in a hospital for this, honey? I've done this from my home. I have taken the focus off of Bruce, off of Nathan, and every other person and put it on myself. Because you know what? Nobody got me this way but me.
Let's pause and think about that. We'll be back in a moment with Happy Lucan, Diana Rosenfeld. We'll meet her marvelous son, Nathan, and continue this discussion about losing this kind of weight. Well, don't want to give any kind of impression that you snap your fingers and you go from 600 pounds to 300 pounds. So therefore, Happy, we don't want to give you that impression, right, Diana?
That's right.
That this doesn't take incredible work, incredible willpower.
Happy, you're the key to your own success. You can do it if you put your mind to it.
Everyone, please meet, since I've given him such a great introduction before we even saw him. Nathan Rosenfeld is a hero of mine because he used to be here and talk about how the kids teased him in school about his mother and his mother's weight. And if ever Diana needed an inspiration to jumpstart what she's done over the past years, it would be her young son, Nathan. So, you went to Disneyland, huh?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Let's see here. The first ride I think we went on was Space Mountain.
Had your mother ever been on, have you ever been on the Space Mountain with your mother?
Not with my mother, no. This was the very first time I went on Space Mountain with my mom.
Yeah, because?
Because she couldn't fit in it before.
So what was it like with your mother sitting in
It
the
was
seat?
funny because we had all these kids behind us. We had these 3 Asian girls behind us. They were like screaming their heads off, and my mom and I were just laughing at them because they're like, it was funny.
Yeah, yeah. And there's one more thing you want to do with your mom, as I understand it, Nathan.
Yeah, when she gets down to her goal weight, I want to go on a family bike ride with the whole family.
And who was it? Somebody here wanted to know, what is your goal weight? Is it still 150?
Somewhere between 125 and 150, depending on what the body comp machine says.
Okay. Now, let's direct our attention once more to Happy. Let's give Happy some concrete first steps in turning her life around.
The reason why we're fat is because we are numbing feelings. So what feelings are you numbing?
At this time, I had been sexually abused, Diana, and at this time I'm working on dealing with those issues, which are very painful.
That's
and
marvelous.
I'd rather not feel them, you know, and it's been a lot easier to push the feelings down with food than to feel them.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what, Happy? By numbing it with food, you can't feel the feelings and you cannot let it go.
That's a very good first step. We'll be back. We're running out of time, but we've got a little bit more to do. We'll be back after this. Stand up here, Betsy. Last time, Betsy, Bill, stand up here. They were ready to get married, except she won't marry him until she loses enough weight, right?
Right.
How much have you lost?
Since January, 145 pounds.
Really? Another one who saw Diana on the show.
Bill's lost 75.
Yeah, but you still aren't light enough to marry him, are you?
Right.
Still think you're too heavy?
Yeah.
Why don't you just take the plunge? Come on.
I know, I was telling her we should just go ahead and do it, then we can just go and get married and everything will be all right, but she still wants to get down to her goal weight, so. But I'm going to wait for her.
Okay. All right, we're going to wait. All right, as we leave, did you give me an affirmation oath almost a year ago?
Oh, just the one that I said a year ago?
About a year ago, you gave an affirmation.
Okay.
I think that, Happy, why don't you, let Diana give you the
And then
oath
she has to say it too afterwards. We'll say it together.
Say it
Happy.
together.
I am too pretty to be fat anymore. I am too sexy to be fat anymore. I love myself too much to be fat anymore. And I am a thin person. I would like you to say that with me. Can you do that?
Sure.
Now let me, before you, so you'll understand, I do not mean, when I say sexy, I don't mean sexual. I mean flowing gown sexy. It's feminine sexy, okay? All right. I am too pretty.
I'm too pretty.
To be fat anymore.
To be fat anymore.
I am too sexy. Go ahead.
I am too sexy to be fat anymore.
I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
I am a thin person.
I am a thin person.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, Betsy and Bill, stay in touch. We want to see if you get married. Happy? We're gonna check up on you. I mean, we did this with Diana for a year now. Now you've got to think about what you've said here, and play that VCR over and over. Maybe that'll help. And Diana, my gosh, my dear Diana, we will see you again. And as you take us out, why don't you get up, and as we played the music of the Maury Povich Show, you and Bruce dance the light fantastic. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, everyone out there. Until next time, America. Tomorrow, it's perfectly legal, and if you have the cash, they have the kids. Buying babies in America. Now, thank you. Now, when we first met Diana Rosenfeld, she needed an oversized wheelchair and a freight elevator just to make it into our studio. She had to sit in this large love seat. She could not sit in a chair. But even at over 600 pounds then, Diana was determined to come on our show and tell everybody how she was going to lose weight, because that was going to save her life. She also promised that she would be back to show off a new, healthy, thinner Diana. This is how Diana Rosenfeld looked over 2 years ago. At her heaviest, she weighed 641 pounds and felt like her life was out of control. Just getting around had become a major production, and she tried just about everything to lose weight.
I have been under hypnosis. They told me I wouldn't like pastries. Years ago, there was a diet called Calories Don't Count.
Diana was desperate. She had to do something. And her motivation?
I have a son that I want to see grow up.
Finally, she found the Lindora Clinic, and as part of their weight loss program, she weighed in every day at the local post office.
Let's do this, guys.
537.
537.
It was working. Diana's last-ditch diet was paying off. And when Diana first appeared on our show, it was very emotional for her.
Wait, and I ate, and I ate.
But Diana had declared war, and this was her battle cry.
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
6 months later, Diana was back with us. So please welcome back 212 pounds slimmer Diana Rosenfeld. Clearly on her way to achieving 3 goals.
My goal is to weigh 150 pounds, sit in one seat on the airplane, and dance with my husband in my living room.
And the next time I saw Diana, I was really in for a shock. She has lost 300 pounds. Diana Rosenfeld. Well, Diana reached 2 of her goals. She danced with her husband and finally sat in one seat on the airplane. It's been over a year now since I've seen her, and I know she's gone through a lot, including painful surgery in order to lose more weight. I remember Diana well when she was 621 pounds, 409 pounds, and 316 pounds. I wonder what she looks like now. Well, that was the old Diana, and I haven't seen her since she came to our studio today on this trip to New York. Now, everyone, let's please welcome the new Diana Rosenfeld.
Surprise.
All right. Wow.
at this. Stand up.
Hi!
I can't believe this.
I could do that.
I don't know.
I couldn't do that before.
You could never do
No.
that.
You all take this for granted. This was a treat for me.
The last time you came here, you filled up this entire
Yeah.
love seat. And now just two lovers here.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell Connie and I won't tell Bruce.
Okay. I can't believe this. I mean, this is remarkable. 2 years, that's all.
A little more than 2 years. And I'm still going. I'm not finished yet.
No, let's stop it. Let's
No,
just cut it off.
No. I'm not there yet.
Well, let's start out this way. You got on the scale this morning?
No, I didn't.
Yesterday?
No, haven't gotten on the scale since Thursday.
Okay, Thursday, what did you weigh?
208.
208. From 641 to 208. I know the name. I don't know if I know the woman. You are completely different.
Yes, I am.
You know, at 400, you still look like the same person I saw at 600.
Right.
And at 300, there were a lot, of course, you had done terrific. But now, the last 100 and some, it's been terrific.
Well, each time I lose a little bit more, there's another change. And it's really fun when you have to go into the closet and say, oh, this is a fat dress or a fat, and out it goes. I have to get rid of all the old clothes because they don't work.
Now, let's talk about the other things you can do now that you could never do before. I mean, you talked about crossing your legs. That was a difficult thing for you to do.
I've never in my life ever crossed my legs until recently.
Really? Now, what else are you able to do? For instance, I heard that you couldn't put on your shoes, could you?
No. Nathan had to buckle my shoes.
Your son?
And now I buckle my own shoes. I tie my own tennis shoes. And it was really funny the day that I first discovered that. I didn't even realize what I was doing, and I just kind of bent down, and I was tying, and all of a sudden I start laughing, and Bruce goes, what are you laughing about? I says, well, I just tied my tennis shoes. He said, so? I said, Bruce, I haven't tied my tennis shoes like this in years. And so then he starts laughing, so it was really, really funny. So, people take those type of things for granted, but when you haven't done those in 20 years, it's marvelous.
Now, you have a job?
Yes, I work for H&R Block and run all over the place.
When we say we have a job, we all have jobs, but you don't understand. You couldn't leave your house, could you?
No.
You couldn't get out of your house?
No.
You couldn't get into a car?
No. Now I take the car all the time.
You couldn't. When you came the first time, we had to have 2 airplane seats for you.
Right. And this time I had 1 seat, and you know that little tray, and I kept thinking, oh God, is that tray gonna come down? And I dropped the tray down and there was room, and I went, ooh. Yeah. And the guy thought I was nuts next to me, but that was okay. I didn't really care what he thought, but I was quite ecstatic about it. It was really neat. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Now, we've talked about all these great things that are happening to you, but there's been some great changes in your family, and not all of them what we would call good changes.
No.
So let's see how your husband, Bruce, and your son, Nathan, are adjusting to the new, thinner Diana. Everyone, please welcome Nathan and Bruce Rosenfeld. Please. Good to see you. Thank you, Nathan. Hi, Bruce. Good to see you today. Thanks so much for coming. Have a seat. Okay. Now, there have been some changes. Nathan, I understand your family's gone through some difficult adjustment periods, all because of what Diana, or I assume, because Diana has gone through. You've been hospitalized the last year?
Yes, I've been hospitalized 2 times, Maury. The first time I was feeling suicidal.
Suicidal?
Suicidal. I don't directly relate it to my mom's weight loss, but I think that could have added a little bit.
Let's pause right there. How did that happen?
Well, basically, I started stressing out about everything.
Well, for instance, before, when your mother weighed all this, and we were talking about, and she was just saying, you had to put her shoes on for her, didn't you? You had to do a lot of things for her, didn't you?
I had to obey her every whim. I was her little servant boy.
Right. And you liked that, didn't you?
I guess I did.
Right. Because this is the way you've changed, Nathan. I'm going to show everybody a picture of Nathan when he was here one of the previous times with his mother and father. And just outwardly, the changes in you have been unbelievable. Here's the way you are. You have a coat and tie on. Look at your hair, right? This is you at 13 or 14 years old. And now, Nathan, what's going on?
He's taller than I am, and he won't leave me alone.
Yeah, but what about the hair? What did you do this for? Huh?
I just like my hair short like this. I don't like long hair.
Now, you mentioned the suicide.
Yes.
I mean, are you just being dramatic, or can you tell us?
It came to the point where I had it planned out.
What do you mean? Tell me about the plan.
Basically, I wanted to get a hold of this drug called lidocaine, which is used in surgeries. And what happens is when a person's heart rate goes down and it starts getting erratic, basically they inject this to stabilize the heart condition. And if a person isn't having any problems with their hearts, it would kill them.
So you were planning to take this?
Yes.
Because you were stressed out?
I was stressed out beyond all belief.
Right. And you were also, there was a lot of change in your behavior in a different way, wasn't there?
Yes. I also went to the hospital a second time, and the second time I was getting very violent towards my father, almost to the point of being homicidal. We get into big fights.
Physical fights?
Physical. We would choke each other. We would threaten to kill each other. I would try and twist his legs to the point of almost breaking them.
This is while your mother is going from 600 pounds to 200 pounds. All these problems are cropping up in your life.
Yep.
Bruce, is it true?
Yes, it is, Maury.
My gosh, I just can't imagine this. I mean, you two were the most supportive people that I can imagine.
We
when
do
you all
support
first.
my mom.
Still.
Yeah, both of us still support her. It's just
What
each
it
other
is,
we have a problem
it's
with.
a subconscious thing, because if you want to get dramatic, I have totally taken the family roles and upheavaled everything.
Right.
And they don't have the roles anymore, that I don't need their help. I mean, I came into New York by myself. I left them alone. I can go around by myself. I don't need assistance anymore. And the two of them don't have a job anymore. It's a different type of thing. I can do what I want to do and not worry about what they want me to do. I just do what I want to do.
Would you rather have the old Diana here, Bruce?
No. I'd rather have the new Diana.
And now you see Diana, she's gone out, and she's being recognized by other people. Men are looking at her. Are you getting a little jealous?
Sure.
You are?
Yeah.
You smile, but it's true, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Huh?
Yes, it is.
How about your romantic lives? Have they changed at all?
Well, since the surgery, Bruce thinks I'm his Barbie doll, and he thinks he can have sex all the time. And Diana keeps going, would you leave me alone? I'm not used to this. You know, I mean, when you're not used to all this attention, you know?
What are you saying now? You just don't want to do it as much?
Well, excuse me, but, you know, we've been married for 20 years, and I wasn't used to all this attention. And it's funny because I take it as a compliment, but now, if I'm not in the mood, I have no problem with saying, no, I'm not ready. Leave me alone.
Right.
And he has to respect my wishes. And then he gets frisky in front of Nathan, and Nathan is going,
That's one of
bitch,
the
you're a
things I don't
pervert.
It took Diana 2 years to lose over 400 pounds. But thanks to a miracle of modern science, she was able at one time, on one day, 24-hour period, well, not even that much, in 2 hours, she lost 23 pounds. You'll see it all on tape when we come back. It's remarkable. Now, that was the old Diana at over 500 pounds. She at one time was 600 and some pounds, 640 to be exact. Now, once again, please welcome the new Diana in that oversized wheelchair that she needed for the very first time on this show. How about this?
I mean, this is big. I mean, this is the Cadillac of wheelchairs here. I mean, this is huge. I mean, this is like a truck. You've made more appearances on this show than I have, Diana. Any other walk-ons you want to do? Anyhow, we all think that that's it for Diana. You lose 425 pounds, your body is in great shape. But really, you faced another big problem as you were reducing yourself to this figure. There was some, what would we call it, excess baggage that just didn't come off?
Actually, it was called excess skin, Maury, and it was in the form of an apron. When somebody's tummy is out to here, and when you sit, of course, you have to sit like this for it to sit here and accommodate down into here.
That's even when you were losing this weight,
yes.
You still have this huge apron of skin.
The huge apron, and it went down at the very end, about to here.
So it just kind of flopped to your knees.
Oh, it flopped and it smelled, and I had to have it taken away because it was unhealthy.
Unhealthy. So we followed Diana to the hospital for her surgery to remove the excessive skin. Now, I want to make sure, I want everybody to take a minute here, because the tape you're about to see is very graphic. Some of you might not want to watch this, but for those who do, we'll see the doctor examine Diana's stomach before surgery, mark the areas he plans to remove, and explain the process.
All right, Diana, I'm just going to basically show you what we'll be doing tomorrow during your surgery, which will last approximately 3.5 to 4 hours. I'll have you stand up at this point, and I'll draw out exactly what we'll be doing so you have a good idea on how much tissue we'll be removing and what the basics is going to be tomorrow. Now, in this area, most likely you'll have a hernia that'll have to be repaired. Once you were 400, 500 pounds, your stomach muscles were way out here. We'll sew that muscle in the midline, which now will flatten your stomach pretty well. It'll also correct the hernias that you have here.
Okay.
But we'll also be removing your umbilical cord here and repositioning it into a new position.
I have a normal biffy.
I'm going to be making a line all the way here, all the way across the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, coming out all the way across this side. Okay, now you can drop that. And now I'm going to be coming across the anterior part of the stomach here. And again, now all of this down here will be removed. So about 40 pounds of tissue right here will be removed.
I know it may not look too pretty, but this was a very exciting moment for me. I had finally lost enough weight so that it was necessary to have the excess skin removed. It was a major turning point. It was a day I looked forward to. The next morning, I went to the hospital around 5 a.m. I wasn't nervous. I knew this was another step forward, another step in my journey towards being lean for life. One of the first things I did after checking in was put my affirmations up on the wall of my room. Then I listened to my mental training tapes, the ones that helped me prepare for surgery. I imagined myself a beautiful snake that was going to shed this excess skin for new skin. And then it was time. I had no fear. I knew that in a few hours I would be even closer to my goal of weighing 150 pounds. Once Dr. Michael Nicoli and the surgical team began, I don't remember much, but the TV crew tells me I was a very good patient. 2.5 hours later, it was over. And when I woke up, there were TV cameras and reporters all over the place.
Other than feeling drunk, I feel fine. Everything went perfect. We anticipated about a 4-hour operation. It took about 2.5 hours. Everything went excellent.
I am truly a new person. I can actually take a walk on the beach and feel free and alive. To just bend down and pick up a seashell is a simple pleasure I haven't been able to do in a long, long time. And to actually ride a bicycle, to enjoy a day out with my family, is a blessing that I will never take for granted. I thank God for having made it this far, and I'm still going.
How about that? Now, what do we see here now?
Huh?
What do we see here now?
A
We
waist.
saw the skin before. What do we see here? Do we see sutures? Do we see
No.
stitches?
May I
Stitches? Do we see scars?
I was cut from hip to hip,
Yeah.
and it goes like a bikini cut. That's all it is, and then my belly button's in a normal
And
spot.
this is all nice and flat.
Mm-hmm. I don't wear a girdle.
You don't wear a girdle?
No, that's me.
It is. I think it is.
Come back here. No.
Right? I think it is.
What?
I think that's right. I mean, pantyhose, that's it, right?
That's it.
That's pretty good, I'll tell you. Do you like that or not?
I love it.
You love it? I would hope you would love it, Bruce.
If he didn't know, well, it's too late now.
But what you don't like is the fact that guys like me like it.
Whoa!
That's true.
Huh? That's what you don't like about it. Now then, this is what Diana is always thinking. Because now this 23 pounds of skin was removed. But you still were thinking about other people, weren't you? Where did the skin go?
I went to 5 different places. Vicariously, I went all over the country. Some of it went to the University of Texas at Austin.
This is for skin for
research.
Burn?
All my skin was used for research because being able to do research on live skin is something that they don't get very often. So I was really, really excited. I went to the American Cancer Society for research. There was a school of pharmacology that used it for research on the aging process.
I could see, you know, Diana's skin being flown all over the country like FedEx. I mean, it was being flown out.
But my favorite one was mobile oil.
Oil.
It went there so that they could find out how the skin absorbed the toxic substances. Now, you have to realize that Bruce, in the military, was a nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare specialist, so I understood exactly what they were going to do.
Right.
So it was really quite exciting to know that because of this process that it had helped for research for other things, and they can grow more skin from the new skin.
Remember this little outfit you had on?
Yeah.
Remember this smock here?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I want to tell you something. That's how big that smock was. Now, they're going to get into this. The 3 of them are going to try to get into this. All right?
Me first. Ladies before gentlemen.
All right. Let's see.
I'm going to be the right arm.
Let's see if 3 of them can get into it today.
Piece of cake.
Yeah? Well, I don't know. Nathan's gained a little bit. We'll talk about that later on, whether there's a little transference going on here. Oh, my golly, the 3 of you can get in. How about that? Next, Diana surprises one of our viewers who she inspired to start losing weight. Do you remember Happy?
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore.
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself to be fat anymore.
You betcha.
Okay. When Diana came on our show, she had no idea what an inspiration she had become to others, especially to one of our viewers. Happy Lucan weighed over 600 pounds and was confined to her bed when she saw Diana Rosenfeld on our show.
When I saw her, and I was able, I don't know, I was able to come out of my shame. Yeah. And it was at that point that I really started trying to find a hospital or something to help me lose this weight.
Well, Diana helped Happy by talking to her on our show, and we were able to help find a hospital in Boston that would take her. Happy has been in the hospital now for 6 months and has lost over 100 pounds. But it's been a struggle every day. So we decided to give Happy a boost with a surprise visit from Diana, whom she had never met.
Diana! Diana, you look so gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh my God. This is like a dream come true.
You want to tell the group who we have here? Not everybody knows.
I would be in my room. I would be locked in my room if it wasn't for this woman. I'm telling you.
Diana was an inspiration to all of the patients in the hospital's obesity program, but especially to Happy.
How much have you lost?
416 pounds. It's still going.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Maury, thank you so much. My God, this is so wonderful. I'm telling you, I'm here 6 months, and I was kind of, you know, getting down and saying, oh my God, I got to stay here longer. And oh, this, I'm telling you, this really gave me a lift. This gave me a super lift. You're a wonderful man. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, thank you. That's our friend Happy. And we're kind of tracking Happy's development, too. And we'll bring you up to date from time to time on Happy. That's the latest that we've seen from Happy, and she's lost 120-some pounds. So isn't that great? And it makes you feel great, I'm sure.
Yes, it does.
Okay. You are a role model now to a lot of people. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any backsliding going on. Huh? Has there been any backsliding? Has it been a constant move downward? Or as we all know, aren't there a lot of plateaus you reach when it comes to losing weight?
Yes, because I have body memories that I'm not aware of. But what I was doing is rationalizing when I was mad at Bruce. Instead of eating junk food, I was eating Dr. Stamper's protein bars and binding myself up real good.
Right. Well, what's going to happen is that we're going to talk about Diana's diet because everybody wants to know, okay, how did you do it, Diana? I mean, you're only talking about 23 pounds of skin that was removed. The other 400 had to come from a diet, and we're going to talk about that diet. It's a very controversial diet. But when we come back, Diana goes Hollywood after this. Now, I know for a fact that our next guest, Michael DeCesare, is the hairstylist to the stars. Now, some of his clients include Kirstie Alley, Sharon Gless, Maria Shriver, Rue McClanahan, and Mary Lou Henner. And for the last 8 years, he's been the stylist for all those guest stars on the David Letterman show. He also is my hairstylist. Now, how's my hair today, Michael?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, I got a little
Till he got
problem.
his hands in it.
Huh?
Don't put your hands in it.
Don't put my hands in it, right. This means half the world thinks I wear a wig. Would you tell everybody I do not wear a wig?
Do you guys think that Maury wears a wig?
Some people do.
No. Who thinks his hair looks great?
Now. And there is absolutely no reason for Michael to be on this show except for the fact that you added somebody to your list of stars.
I added Diana Rosenfeld, Maury.
You did?
Absolutely.
Well, how did this all happen?
I think it was she's the most inspiring person I've ever met in my life. It was the first time I met her here when she came to do your show, when they brought the love seat into the makeup room, and I realized that this woman weighed 600 and something pounds. And I realized that, you know what? I know what it's like to try to lose 5 or 10 pounds. This woman had to lose and wanted to lose that much weight. And your interest in her inspired my interest in her as well.
So, Diana, I mean, you've come a long way from weighing in on a set of scales of a post office on national television to now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, you're a star of a big national television infomercial.
And that reminds me of a very special guest we had on the Maury Povich show recently. She had lost over 300 pounds
300?
since the year before when we had her on. She weighed 600 pounds.
Wow.
She has an incredible story. Let's take a look.
The second time I was on the Maury show, Michael was able to do my hair, and I was really tickled because I have very fine, thin hair, and he was able to take this thin hair and make it look a lot more than what I really had, and it was fun to watch him create in front of my own eyes and transform me from this very different person.
I didn't realize, but we just gave a big plug for Michael DeCesare's infomercial, didn't we? We just gave a big plug for this with all your hair products.
The big plug, actually, more than the hair products, I do have a styling system that I've developed, but the point was that Diana inspired me enough to ask her to be part of that. That my whole system is to teach people how they can look their best and put their best look forward, and there is no one that understood that more than Diana, because she told me when she came back to your show, that Liz, the producer, called me and said that she has a request. One of the requests were that she could dance with her husband on the show and that Maury's hair guy could do her hair. And you know what? She's got a hairdresser for life here.
She does.
Because I was able to take her over the weekend and I changed her image completely. I work with her on her clothing. I work with her on everything from the top of her hair to her feet to really allow her to put herself forward.
Now, does your hair change as you lose weight or not?
Your hair suffers. I mean, your hair is protein, and however you take care of your body, your skin and your hair are going to really have those effects. That constant weight up and down caused her hair to be thinner than you could ever imagine. I mean, you need to use a hairpiece in her hair. I have her now willing to work with me the next 8 months till she's back again at Goal, where she will learn how to handle her hair and her makeup in a way that she can make her own makeovers. Hair people can do that kind of stuff. Makeup artists can make you look wonderful, but it's about being able to do yourself at home. And that's what I'm teaching her, with the least amount of stress in her hair, while the doctors and she work on the inside. I'm trying to help her with the outside.
Okay, and talk about the inside. Diana's doctor gives us the answer to the question that we've all been asking. How do you lose? How did Diana lose over 400 pounds? After this. Now, to answer the big question, how did Diana lose over 400 pounds? Dr. Marshall Stamper of the Lindora Clinics in California is here. Now, our viewers have been writing and calling to find out how Diana lost all this weight, so let's start at the beginning. The first time you saw her, doctor, what'd you say to her?
Maury, I looked over at Diana, the largest woman I'd ever seen in my life, sitting in a huge wheelchair. And I knew I had to be out of my usual bedside manner. So I stalked over the room, put my face in Diana's, and very gruffly asked, Diana, are you going to be the type of person that gives you pallbearers or hernia?
So you were telling her she was going to die and that her pallbearers were going to get a hernia carrying her?
Essentially, yes. See, all dieters hate their fat, and they instinctively create a defensive barrier to protect their feelings. Now, if that barrier isn't penetrated, they're not going to accept advice, counseling.
So psychologically, you started to penetrate that. Now, physically, what kind of a diet did you put her on? Because as I understand it, it's controversial.
There's only one type of diet for someone like Diana, or for someone like myself if I want to lose 3 pounds. But the name of it is ketosis. Why is it controversial? I don't know.
Well, it's controversial because the essence, as I understand it, is that in order to lose weight, you burn fat, correct?
Correct.
All right. A lot of people say that the way to lose weight, to burn up things, is to eat a lot of carbohydrates. You say, absolutely not. That's not true. The less carbohydrates, the better. Is that right?
Now, ketosis is a reflection of the carbohydrate level. If carbohydrates are too high, you're not going to be in ketosis. Therefore, the restriction of carbohydrates is absolutely essential.
So what did you put her on?
I put her on a low-calorie diet, essentially ranging around 600 to 900 calories.
A day?
A day, designed to keep her carbohydrate level under 100 grams.
That's against most diets, you know that.
I know.
I mean, that's no pasta, I mean, you know, we want to eat pasta, we want to eat potatoes, we want to eat all those other things. We want to put these carbohydrates that are non-fattening and that will burn up calories.
I'm very aware of that, Maury, because I was taught in medical school 2 things. All a dieter has to do is eat less and exercise more. Diana knew that. It hadn't worked.
Yeah, but here's the deal. If you put her on 600 to 900 calories a day, doesn't she get weak?
Well, that's what everybody thinks. They come in, they almost have tears in their eyes on my first consultation. But doctor, I can't live on that. And I look them right in the eye and I say, but remember now, you're not going to be living on that. And Diana remembers this. You're only 500 or 600 to 900 calories ingested per day. But in ketosis, the body becomes a fat-burning machine. And for every pound of fat Diana lost, there's 3,500 calories released for energy.
Now, how long did you have this diet on? She's still on the same diet?
Absolutely.
You haven't had more than 900 calories a day for 2 years?
No, Maury, we take it in segments. The initial treatment, which is weight loss, consists of up to 8 weeks. Then there's a 2 weeks break for metabolic adjustment. And now we reintroduce her to different foods and more calories.
And more calories? Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll be back right after this because I'm sure we have lots of questions about this.
Diana, you obviously had to get all new clothes for this. How much did it cost you to redo your whole wardrobe?
Funny thing you should ask. God bless all the patients at Lindora have kept me in clothes since I gave my fat clothes away. I've been getting them from all over Southern California, and it's really been a treat because one of the outfits that I have was a gal who started out, and the day she gave me her clothes was the day she reached goal, and I was able to put on her blouse, and I said, now, this is where you came from, and she was just strutting around. It was really fun.
Good.
I just wanted to ask, is the relationship between the father and son okay now?
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit, that too. Yeah, what about it? How are you and Nathan getting along, Bruce?
We're getting along a lot better now.
Right. But we also must say you are all still in therapy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
We're still in family counseling. We still have a lot to work on.
And I'm worried about you, Nathan, because you have been one of my favorite guests throughout the tenure of this show. And if you need a friend, you feel too stressed out, if you think you need to call somebody, I'll give you my number, and I want you to call me, okay?
All right.
Okay?
Can you tell me if you had a problem in your teenage years with obesity?
Yes. It started when I was much younger, is what it was. It was to numb feelings.
Diana, you look beautiful, but listen, you've been away from that sex with this Polo Bruce for a long time. Give the guy a break.
Thank you. But every night? Come on!
Thank you.
Nathan, do you think
Nathan,
do you think this is really just being a teenager too? I mean,
I think it's gone beyond that.
Well, I don't know. I have a teenage daughter, and sometimes it goes beyond it, and sometimes it doesn't. But this age is so fragile with their own sexuality and everything else going on that.
Well, I think it's a little bit to the extreme of just being a normal teenager, because a lot of
Your grades have gone down in school.
Grades have gone down.
Now, you're a smart kid, Nathan, and that is what really troubles me. That's why, if you have any problems, I want you to call me.
Hi. Hi. What kind of pressure did this play on your heart? I mean, I know that you were obese and it, you know, the fat cells and everything. What kind of a
physical
pressure on your heart?
Actually, believe it or not, as I was very fortunate that Dr. Stamper was in when I had the surgery. There were no hernias. My muscles were in excellent condition. I don't have high blood pressure. I have not had high blood pressure.
No diabetes?
No diabetes. I was in very good health.
When we come back, we're going to reintroduce Diana to her own mother-in-law, who hasn't seen Diana in over a year. So she hasn't seen Diana look like this. We'll be back after this message. Okay, now I know that you have not seen your mother-in-law, Jackie Rosenfeld, since you were way over 300 pounds, right? The last time? And she hasn't seen you. So she's gonna be surprised here. So let's hear. Jackie, are you here? This is Bruce's mother, Diana's mother-in-law. Are you here, Jack? Hi, Jackie. How are you, dear? How are you? Look at this. How about this? Go right up there.
Do you like it?
How about that? Jackie, turn around. What do you think?
I'm shocked. I'm really...
Huh? Well, that's great. There's your grandma, Nathan. Okay, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much, Diana. You say you want to lose another 50.
Yes.
I don't think you have to, but
Excuse me.
okay. Under Dr. Stamper's care, you do anything you want to. Okay? I thank you out there, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Diana. Until next time, Americans.
Living with obesity is hard. It's hard on your heart, your joints, and your self-esteem. From Southern California, Life Choice's West Coast correspondent Rory Bennett has the dramatic story of a woman facing the challenges of obesity, the challenge of a lifetime. Rory?
Erie, for most of us, exercise and proper eating are choices we make to look and feel better. But imagine facing the choice to lose several hundred pounds, weight that's imprisoned you for years. That's the courageous choice Diana Rosenfeld is making. She's committed to losing 400 pounds. And as you'll see, she plans to reach her goal. Every step Diana Rosenfeld takes is a painful reminder of her obesity.
540? 540.
At 42, Diana is so overweight, she needs a freight scale to find out the truth. But 540 pounds is actually good news for Diana. Just a few weeks ago, she weighed in at 617 pounds before making the choice to change her life.
My choice was to live rather than giving the pallbearers a hernia when they would have had to bury me.
And Diana made an even more important decision to go public with her problem.
Yes, I'm obese. Yes, I am fat. I know what my problem is, but I hurt too. People stereotype heavyset people as always being jolly, happy, but I cry. I hurt. And I get depressed just as much as anybody else does.
Diana's depression was so severe, she didn't leave the house for 4 months last year. And only recently she regained the ability to walk. On a friend's recommendation, she enrolled in a medically supervised weight loss program at the Lindora Medical Clinic in Costa Mesa, California. Dr. Marshall Stamper remembers that day.
When I first saw her, it just broke my heart. She, with great agony, took 3 steps out of the wheelchair to get onto my examining table. She sat there with tears in her eyes as I asked her the basic questions. She made the choice that she was going to live. And the minute she told me that she really understood, she wanted to live. She chose to be a good wife for her husband. She chose to be a mother for her son. I really got excited.
Surprisingly, Dr. Stamper found Diana's overall health to be good and placed her on a low-calorie, balanced diet. But that was only part of the program. Diana also made the choice to understand more about why she compulsively overate. She realized her problems began years ago.
The worst came after my mother passed away. It was like 10,000 pounds of burden were off of me. But instead of not eating, I increased my eating.
Last time.
74?
How about 73.5?
Yes.
All right.
Diana admits her choice to lose 400 pounds won't be easy, but if she can inspire others to make the same choice, her battle will be a major victory.
They have to choose to want to do something that is very scary to them. This was very scary for me. There's a lot of me here, and I'm not just going to disappear and fall off the face of the earth.
Diana's family is being very supportive of her goal, but she admits she has lost a few friends who are threatened by her weight loss. But she's not going to let that stand in her way. Already she's making many new friends. Erie?
Thanks, Rory. We'll monitor Diana's progress and we'll update you on her results. Last season, we introduced you to an incredible story about an incredible woman, Diana Rosenfeld. She weighed more than 600 pounds. Obviously, Diana faced some tremendous challenges. Every step was a painful reminder of her obesity. In fact, she could barely make this short walk to be weighed on a freight scale. But Diana was already taking steps toward a healthier life. So how is she doing now? Having endured pain and humiliation for years, Diana is writing her own prescription for change. From California, Life Choices reporter Rory Bennett has this update.
This is Diana Rosenfeld today. She's walking with a little more spring in her step because she's lost almost 250 pounds through a medically supervised low-calorie diet. This determined woman no longer needs a freight scale to weigh herself.
What are we over, 200 or?
Over 221, I think.
221. All right.
But the most dramatic measure of Diana's progress is made in inches.
Was 65. Is now 51.
All right. It's almost like I've been in a cocoon, and I'm now choosing to break out of this cocoon, and I'm doing it slowly enough where it's not overwhelming me, but it's, you know, each time the wings spread out a little bit further, and eventually, you know, of course, the wings will be all the way out, and then I'll soar.
Diana also discovered the joy of helping others. She's made the choice to start a weight loss support group.
I had never seen anybody that weighed as much as Diana did. And then I was just staring at her, and I kept trying not to. And then she turned around and she started talking to me. She was like, "Hi, what's your name? We have group on Thursday nights. Come sit down and talk to us." And I was shocked. I thought, man, if that lady could do this, I can do it.
It is a really worthwhile feeling, and it's a neat feeling to know that you can reach out and touch somebody and affect somebody's life.
By making the choice to lose weight permanently, it's become easier for Diana to make other important life choices. She's decided to become more active physically and socially, and she's discovered a whole new side of life. After years of avoiding social activities, Diana made the choice to attend her 25th high school reunion. The pounds she's lost have been replaced with newfound self-esteem. Diana knows she's got a long way to go to reach her goal of 140 pounds, and at this point, Diana shows no signs of wavering from the choice she's made.
I am too pretty, too sexy, and I love myself too much to be fat anymore. And I am a thin person, and my goal is to be lean for life.
We all wish Diana the very best. She's made some very tough choices, and she's stuck with them. And we're going to keep you posted on her progress. Well, I have in front of me 30 10-pound bags of potatoes. That's 300 pounds. Now, imagine carrying all these around every hour of every day. Diana Rosenfeld knows that pain all too well. We began following Diana's story 2 years ago when she weighed 617 pounds. She could barely walk, and she had to make the choice to save her life. And that's when she began a medically supervised diet. Late last year, we showed you that she had already lost over 200 pounds. Well, today we're happy to report that Diana is down to 303 pounds. She's lost this much weight. So she's half the woman she used to be, and happy to be there.
I remember when I hit 385, and my body said, "Been here, done this." And I mean, we fought and we fought, but I won. And it's just convincing my body that I'm not comfortable at this weight. I still need to go further.
Diana is reaching out today to share her challenging lessons in life. Now, one of the ways she does that is by teaching scouts what it's like to have to use a wheelchair. Diana says every day you make choices, but it's sticking by those choices that makes your life better.
I got a new military ID card last week. Went in, my last military ID card said 494 pounds. So when the guy looked at the weight and he looked at me, he says, "What weight do you want me to put on this card?" And I said, 150 pounds. And he looked at me and he looked at the card, and I says, "Don't worry, I'll be there soon." He says, "Yes, ma'am." And on my ID card says 150 pounds.
Well, Diana, we know you're going to make it to 150 pounds. Keep it up.
We first introduced you to Diana Rosenfeld 2 years ago. Then she weighed 641 pounds. Incredible. Today, she is 400 pounds lighter, and is mounting a countdown to lose those last 50.
I see pictures of me at 621 pounds. I have no recollection of being that or desiring to be that ever again.
That was the old Diana Rosenfeld in 1991, the Diana who could only weigh herself on a freight scale, the Diana who could only walk a few feet before feeling exhausted, the Diana who chose to change her life in order to save her life.
My choice was to live rather than giving the pallbearers a hernia when they would have had to bury me.
This is the new Diana, the woman who was once so depressed she stayed in her house for 4 straight months. She's now living a life that she didn't know existed.
I'm very active. I'm on the go constantly. By choosing to become lean for life and still working on it on a daily basis, it has given me opportunities to do things that, I haven't done.
One of those things is wearing normal clothes that flatter her new figure.
No, this is not a curtain. This is an old dress for old Diana. I used to wear it, has about 6 yards of material, but I don't wear it anymore. I wear new things.
Another new thing in Diana's life is having fun and enjoying activities with her husband Bruce and her son Nathan.
These guys are dealing with somebody they've never even seen before. So this is all new. I think the only thing that has really been hard on our family is the roles are changing. Before Bruce and Nathan would do for me, now I do for myself.
Diana has accomplished her extraordinary weight loss through both strong personal discipline and continuous medical supervision. Diet alone, however, is not the only reason there's a new Diana. Losing around 400 pounds left nearly 22 pounds of skin around her stomach and abdomen that had to be surgically removed.
When you have lost as much weight as I had lost, and I still had this tremendous apron on me, it was phenomenal.
Diana donated the skin to the University of California at Irvine for research on skin grafting for burn victims. Following her operation, there were new discoveries about her body.
I have a lap, I've never had a lap. I have a waist, I've never had a waist.
And things many of us take for granted in our lives, Diana experienced for the first time.
And I put on a pair of tennis shoes. The only thing was these were tie-up tennis shoes. And I sat and I started laughing. And Bruce goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I'm tying my tennis shoes. I'm bending over tying my tennis shoes." He said, "So?" I said, "Bruce, I don't remember the last time I did that." And then I remembered the day that I held a baby and put the baby in my lap to lay down. And I kind of cried because I never was able to do that to my own son.
Diana has lost a lot, but gained so much in just 2 short years. Her losses are measured in numbers. More than 400 pounds, 40 inches off her waist, 30 inches off her hips. Her gains have been in building a new life with her husband and her son. More confidence, greater self-esteem, and most of all, satisfaction in setting a goal to lose weight and knowing she is within sight of that goal. The Diana that everyone sees today is the new Diana. Diana knows better.
I'm still the same person on the inside I've always been. You may not have known the whole person on the inside, but that's because I chose not to allow her to come out and play. I kept her inside to be safe. I made the choice for Diana Lee Rosenfeld without my desire for myself and to say, okay, Diana, you're a worthwhile person. You can do this.